If you own a boat, sooner or later, you'll find yourself here, on the Hard. It's where boats go for repairs, for fresh paint, or for the kind of work that you just can't do while you're floating. Some sailors avoid the chaos altogether, finding a place to stay off of their boats while the yard takes over. But you know us, that's not our style. We live right in the middle of it. The dust, the noise, the long days. Every waking moment spent sanding, fiberglassing, fixing, doing whatever it takes to get Saoirse back in the water where she belongs. It's exhausting, messy, and sometimes overwhelming, but it's our reality. And today, we're giving you a behind-the-scenes look at what life on the Hard is really like. Ow!
A little too much there, huh?
It's our morning workout every day. This is what we have to do to convert our bedroom into our salon so I can actually do work and have a desk and we can eat and have somewhere to sit.
Because our V-berth is taken up by all this stuff. All our tools, all the paint, storage basically.
This just makes it way more easier than having all that stuff in here and trying to work around all of it. It takes us like 2 minutes to do. It's not that big of a deal. And voila, we have a salon so I can do my work because the videos don't edit themselves, you guys. Coffee?
So today I need to get some fairing compound down on the hull. That way I can start get to sanding. But it is nice being on the Hard because we have power coming in. Not that the power is consistent. You guys will find that when you're traveling abroad in different countries, sometimes the power grids aren't as stable as you're used to. And we ran a hose in, so now we have just straight up endless water.
This will be one thing I will miss.
Yeah.
The pressure and the endless amount of water coming in here.
Did you need to go to the store or anything today?
Yeah, I think we need to get maybe some veggies for dinner. And I need some more almond flour. And more butter.
No, we got a whole stick of it. That won't last long.
No. Yes, that is butter he is putting in the coffee.
Don't knock it till you try it.
It's delicious. Can we talk about other things that I'm going to miss when we're maybe floating in the water? Maybe not, but it's very nice to have here. The AC.
It's nice to come into a cool boat after sweating for hours working on the boat.
Well, the good thing also, it keeps all of the dust outside.
And it keeps all the moisture out too.
Yeah.
We haven't, typically on anchor, we'll have a bunch of mold within a week of cleaning it. Mm-hmm. But we've been here a lot of months. a lot of months.
And it would be definitely moldy in here.
Yeah, and we haven't had any mold.
So another little trick we've been doing is if we need to like wash clothes or whatever and they're not dry, but it's also, you know, if somebody's sanding fiberglass, we don't want that. So we have put up these bungee cords, and then if we run the AC overnight, it'll be dry in the morning, which has been so huge. And because it rains here so often, it's kind of nice to have. So if you guys have an AC unit, I highly recommend, thank you, putting like lines or bungee cords in your cabin. So if you have stuff hanging on the line before you go to bed, or if it starts raining, you can just bring it in and then it dries overnight.
I guess if you did have a boat AC, you could run it if you could figure out how to plumb some fresh water to the cooling system, but they run a lot.
Yeah.
And they're heavy on energy, so I don't know that would be feasible. I've never seen anybody do it.
The good thing about ours is that it's eco mode, so it'll come on and off, so it won't run all the time. We carry that thing underneath our V-berth, and every time we've gone into a boatyard, it has been so huge.
Mm-hmm. It's worth the wait. And also, we have a composting toilet, so that allows us to keep using our toilet and not having to go down to the communal toilet.
It's just nice not having to get out of the boat, walk down the stairs, walk, I don't know, a quarter of a mile, it seems like, to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
It's maybe like 200 feet.
All right, I decided to whip up a nice treat for tonight. Some sleep blondies. I found this recipe on Beam Dream's website. If you guys haven't seen, I've been drinking Beam Dream for probably the last 6 months now, and this stuff is a lifesaver for me because I cannot sleep. Case in point, last night I didn't have any, and I woke up 4 times. The night before that, had some, slept through the night. The night before that, had some, slept before that. So I thought maybe having a little dessert will make me not forget. But this stuff is great because it is all natural sleep ingredients. You've got all these here. Take a peek. My 2025 resolution is to be more mindful about the sleep that I'm getting. And this stuff is key component to this. Dream helps me go to sleep, stay to sleep longer, and wake up feeling nice and refreshed. Unlike some of the other stuff I've taken, which makes me wake up feeling super groggy. Maybe I'll even share one with you. So if you're like me and you're looking to get more sleep in 2025, be sure to click the link here or check the QR code, click the QR code and enter Beau and Brandy at checkout. And you can receive up to 35% off your order. All right, see you guys later. I'll put the recipe in the link in the description below if you guys want to try it out.
20 minutes later.
Downtown Rio is a sensory experience like no other. The streets are lined with shops that seem to have everything: hardware, fresh produce, clothes, and delicious street food. It's pretty congested down here, but this is the best part. You're in the thick of it.
Chaos.
It's like the Rio part. The river part is nice and calm, and in here it's crazy. There is a raw, unpolished charm here, where simplicity meets resourcefulness. It's vibrant, chaotic, and beautiful all at once. This is the heartbeat of the Rio, and every trip into town feels like a whole new adventure.
Tengo harina cerdo.
You did it!
These burritos are amazing and super cheap. Nice that their money's all colored.
Take a tip, US.
Yeah.
Get it together. A lot of people have asked why we picked this boatyard.
Basically, just because we knew Evan, one of our friends that's already in here.
Yeah, and there's, I think, 3, maybe 4 boatyards to choose from here. They're all similar, but when you guys are looking for a place to haul out, be sure that they do the things that you want. For example,
this place, you're not allowed to hire in subcontractors. You have to use the people in the yard.
Yeah.
So that limits you to the type of work you can get done, the quality, and cost.
Hola. Also, a lot of boatyards don't allow you to live aboard if you want to live aboard.
We're actually butted up against the jungle here, so we do get a lot of bugs. Other places, they're not so close to the jungle.
We also are in a marina that has a resort, so that's actually pretty nice. There are a couple pools. We've only been in one of them twice.
Twice? Yeah, not very often.
We're here to get work done. Another thing here is, do we feel secure?
Yeah, there's security guards all over the place.
And they will ask you over and over again what boat you're on.
Yeah, so we do feel like they, at least they're keeping tabs on people. It makes us feel good. I don't know.
We've left stuff underneath the boat and nobody touches it.
Yeah.
Everybody here is just to get their work done.
In general, just being in the Rio, we haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
All done with the first layer of fairing. I laid down just a thin coat to fill up all the voids, cracks, the scalloping that I created when I stripped it down to the fiberglass, and it's somewhat smooth. It needs another coat of and another round of fairing, but I did go ahead and use the longboard for the first round of sanding just to start with a good base of flatness. It is tricky to sand right where the curvature of the hull goes to the keel, and it gets more vertical. It's just a really steep curve there, so it is, even though the longboard bends, it has been difficult getting in there. So I might have to construct something that fits that shape and just do that one little shape by itself. That, or maybe I'll just hand sand it. Now I'm gonna apply the second round. I've already pressure washed the hull. I still gotta wipe it down with some de-waxer, and I'm going to apply the second round using a saw blade.
Meanwhile,
it's a saw blade that I modified. I cut off the teeth, well, I ground out the teeth, and then on the flat edge I created a little bit of a gap here. Right here at the two ends is the original edge, and then I ground out in between because I want to create an area that leaves me a little bit of fairing compound. That way I have enough to sand off and try to get the boat as smooth and even as possible. I learned this trick from an old Sultan here in this boatyard. He came by and chatted with me about it and said he did this probably 8 years ago and it worked pretty well. One of the difficulties in using this, I believe, is going to be trying to shape this to the hull and get it even. But this will probably do a much better job than the little 8-inch spatula that I've been using.
Another thing about being on the hard, since we do all this boat work, we try to make the most convenient recipes, and that's where the Instant Pot comes in. Tonight we're going to be doing a chicken and broccoli. Don't make fun of my cutting skills. Alright, so this recipe calls for water, which brings up a good point. We cannot run our water maker since we're on the hard. That's a bummer. We do have our water that comes out of the hose, but it is not potable. And unless you want a nice cleanse, don't drink it. You can wash your dishes and brush your teeth and stuff with it, but we purchased these big 5-gallon bottles, and then we fill up water from there. And that's what we drink from. Now to go change and help Beau.
In order to get a better ratio on the fairing compound, I am measuring it all out with a scale instead of trying to eyeball it. So in order to get a more accurate measurement, we just put these in these 2 cups, which isn't perfect because you still get a little bit of air bubbles, but it's pretty close. It's way better than my eyeballs.
Is the scale even under there?
Scale is under here. It's just tiny compared to this board. Now we gotta add a little bit more. This scale's not like, it's not giving me the value I want. I'm trying to get it perfect. The masterpiece is almost finished. So this guy didn't really work out. I think I did too deep of a trough when I ground out that middle portion. I could grind off these tabs to bring it down, but this 8-inchers, he's working good enough.
I mean, the whole purpose was just to get it at a certain depth, right?
Well, that plus you want to try to make it as smooth as possible and even as possible, so it would help with the sanding. But I'm already doing it, so I'm just gonna scrap that idea.
As the day winds down, we do our best to bring some order back to the chaos. Tools get packed away, supplies get tucked back into the locker, and Xoxo starts feeling a little less like a work site and more like a home. Next stop, the showers.
Do your shower.
After a day covered in dust, sweat, and fairing compound, that hot water feels like pure luxury.
Looks delicious, lovey.
Back on board, it's dinner. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Can you put that fork up against your head? And the nightly ritual of transforming our salon into our bedroom. A process we've perfected to a science by now. And then, at last, a moment of peace. Tea in hand, blondies from earlier in the day, and a quiet moment to reflect on the work we've done and the progress we're making. It's not glamorous and it's not easy, but every long day here brings us one step closer to getting Xoxo back where she belongs.
So tired. And that's a wrap.
If you liked that episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys.